So I'm going to paint a picture to give you some context for the story today. Unfortunately, it's not a flattering story, and it just happened this week. I've got 4 kids ranging from 4, 6, 8, and 10. We also have a new puppy that's learning how to be potty trained right now. And so there's a lot going on at the house. My wife is also not able to filter chaotic moments like she used to because of a stroke that she had a few years ago. And so during bedtime or the supper rush into bedtime is normally pretty high octane. It can bring stress. So when I had a buddy this week ask me if I wanted to meet up to play racquetball at 7:30, there's a big piece of me that wanted to because I haven't seen this friend in a long time. And I also knew what cost would come from me doing something like that at that time. So I talked to Brooke, I see what she thinks, and she's like, you should do it. But even with that green light, when I came home that night, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I need to help get this house in order. I need to help get these kids towards bed so that it's not incredibly stressful for Brooke. And selfishly, so that it's not incredibly stressful for me, where when I come back from playing racquetball, there's still things that just need to get done because our kids and our dog are just a handful right now. And so that night I found myself in hyperactive mode after supper, trying to clean up quick, get kids upstairs, help brush teeth, put away some folded laundry, get them towards bed, start settling them down, only to hear a fire alarm going off downstairs. And so in this moment of already some stress, and I'm starting to run late to meet up with my friend, I run downstairs to see that some bacon that's in the oven that Brooke is trying to kind of prep for the week to use is starting to burn and smoke, and we're starting to have a fire alarm go off. So I'm turning the fire alarm off and I'm shutting the oven off and getting the bacon out when I look out the front window and I see Brooke outside just visiting with some neighborhood kids with Scout, our dog, at the end of the leash. In most situations, I would love seeing that. I would love to see Brooke outside helping our dog learn how to go potty, talking to neighborhood kids. I love that. Not in a moment where I'm already high stress and she's the one forgetting about the bacon. And so I find my emotions going high, and my frustration and my anger and my stress levels are getting the best of me. So that when Brooke comes back in the house hearing the fire alarm, I go right into just a reaction. I got very convicted of this because in this counseling room right here, we have an illustration that we walk through with people to help manage emotions and to help in communication with their spouse, with family, with close friends. And that's the idea where you have this button that gets pushed and you're in high emotion, whether it's anger, frustration, hurt, sadness, you name it. And we can either just react directly off of that button being pushed, which most of the time shows no restraint and no managing of emotions and no real thought to how I'm reacting. The other option is that your button gets pushed and you have a plan in place to create a buffer so that you don't go right into the reaction, and instead you have time pass by so that you can respond to what happened instead of just quickly react to what just happened. And what you do in that buffer is what we talk about in counseling. There's these 3 P's to think about. First of all, you can process it. You can just remove yourself from the situation long enough just to think through, why am I so high emotion? Why am I feeling this way? And just give it some thought to begin with. The second P would be to pray. I could actually enter the Holy Spirit into this and say, hey, you reveal for me, Father, why I'm so quick to anger here, or why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, and create time for that. The third one could be people, where if you have enough time, and maybe you even give it a day to think about, and you bring in some wisdom or some wise counsel around you for, here's what happened, here's how I'm feeling, what's legitimate, what's not, do I have any blind spots, and bring other people into your buffer, the time before you respond. And in the moment, all of that counseling, all that trying to practice what I preach was out the window, and I just reacted. And I just let Brooke have it for just really how stressed I was and how frustrating that was to walk downstairs to that situation. What I could have done is I could have made sure everything was leveled out, and I could have not given Brooke a look or snide remarks and just said, we'll talk when I get back, and leave and go have the time with my high school buddy and give myself the time to process and to pray and to respond. And I would have responded in a totally different way than I did with my reaction. This morning, I got particularly convicted because it was followed up by the Holy Spirit, speaking through the proverb of the day that I was reading. And it was Proverbs 15:28. And this is what it says: "The heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words." And so much of Proverbs is like these two really opposite things. Here's the way of God, and here's the opposite. And the first half, the heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. That's the NLT version. I really like that because it's exactly the illustration. To think carefully before you just react with how you're feeling. It's okay that I feel a certain way, but I better give some thought to why I feel that way. If there's something to be worked on in me that's actually not on Brooke. What she did, I could have done the very next night. The dog needs to go out. There's bacon in the oven. There's still plenty of people in the house to be able to shut things down or to turn things off. And she didn't deserve my reaction. So that's what God taught me or reminded me of again this week and need to put into practice. And these videos are another way for me to solidify and actually put into practice what God is teaching me. Maybe some of that has an effect on you, and you can start working on when you are in high motion and your button gets pushed, as opposed to just reacting with those that you love. Work in a buffer in order to respond and do those three things to give you a chance to respond differently. To process it, to think carefully before speaking, as it says in Proverbs, to pray, and at times bring people, wise counsel, into your thought process so that you're able to respond the way that you want to. Hopefully that's helpful to you. That's how God is helping me. We'll see you again next week for another Planted by the Water, where I'll help you as I hopefully remind myself to just keep getting my roots out to the stream and listening for the Holy Spirit for what He has for us and how He's trying to grow us up each and every day. Thanks. We'll see you again next week.